What's going on at One Sports? Back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the New York Giants' first outside free agent signing of the 2023 offseason, as the New York Giants went out on the market and they improved their defensive line depth, like Joe Schoen said they wanted to do, and like I think a lot of Giants fans wanted to do, including myself. And I think this is a really good move. I like the move a lot, as the Giants bring in the 29-year-old former Kansas City Chief and Tampa Bay Buccaneer, including a Super Bowl champion, Rakeem Nunez-Roches, also known as RNR. It's a good signing in my opinion. He's a guy who is going to be 30 years of age in July, so he'll start next season at age 30, and I think it's a good signing, because what I'm hearing from him, and the Giants played him once or twice in the last 2-3 years. So we've seen, I believe, twice in the past 3 years. I know they didn't play him this year. But one thing that really stood out is that he stops the run really well. Nunez-Roches has not missed a game in 4 years. He's played 65 straight games. And our second free agent signing, I don't want to get into him too much in this video because I'm going to have another video right after this one about him. Bobby Okereke, he's missed 2 games in his career. So it sounds like Joe Schoen, is looking for guys who can stay on the field. And, that's important. But back to Nunez-Roches, talking about him. One of the Tampa Bay reporters, he had some nice things to say about him. Nacho is a huge trash talker, popular in the locker room, tough as nails, good versus the run, a non-factor against the pass, good depth. That's what John Ledyard, a Tampa Bay Buccaneers reporter, had to say about Nunez-Roches. And it sounds like this is a good deal. It's a pretty low cost deal and makes a lot of sense. It's a 3-year deal for Nunez-Roches, worth $12 million with $7.5 million guaranteed. So that makes sense. It really does. It's $4 million a year. That's not all guaranteed for a guy who is going to stay on the field, and a guy who that is going to really improve your team. I think it makes a lot of sense. I saw when the move first came out, Giants fans were saying, as long as it's not more than 3 years, $21 million. And then when I saw 3 years, $12 million, I'm like, wow, we got a good deal here. On Nunez-Roches. He's a good player. And good players aren't easy to come by in this league. So, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think he's a guy who, like that Tampa Bay guy, the reporter said, he's a great player against the run. And it sounds like Nunez-Roches is going to kind of be a much better player than Justin Ellis, and he kind of fills his spot, but is a way better. Looking at his numbers, they don't necessarily pop off the page, but that's not what he's coming in here to do. He also plays a lot of special teams, snaps. I believe he plays 50% or so of the snaps. I think he played 60% last year in Tampa, so he's going to be playing in certain situations. And he's not a guy that, you're going to bring in to get sacks. I mean, you still bring him in to get sacks, but, at the end of the day, the guy in 102 games only has 3.5 career sacks. 2 of them came last year. He's one of those guys where, looking at his stats from last year, he had 33 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and 3 QB hits. So that's good. It really is. I think he's the guy that kind of comes in to stuff the run. He plays in certain situations, and I really like that. I think that that's something that, the Giants really need. He's 6'2", 310. He runs pretty good. He's the guy who also has experience. A guy who's been to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. He played for 2 of the best, arguably the best organizations in football for the past 5 years. So that I think that all, Joe Schoen values all of that, as a good GM should and will do. So I really like the signing of Rakeem Nunez-Roches for the Giants. overall, though, I think this is a guy who comes in certain situations. He's a guy who, he's going to do exactly what you ask him to do. He's going to be good to stop the run, which is something the Giants desperately need. They need to improve their run defense, and I think this really, really does that for the next 3 years. Not that we don't have to worry about it anymore, but in terms of that front four, stopping the run, I think this really helps, and I think you kind of take a big, a lot of weight off your shoulders if you're the Giants by signing him here in terms of stopping the run, with that front four. Now, the linebackers is another story, but we'll get into that in another video. But guys, that was all I got in this video. You guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on the Giants bringing in Rakeem Nunez-Roches. I really like the signing. 3 years, $12 million, 7.5 guaranteed. You guys let me know all the good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll see you guys on the next video, and as always, let's go Giants.